Very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the Early Edge. We have a great show for you lined up today. A really great show, actually. And by the way, we're brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Let's take a look at how we did on the recap screen. I'm very happy to be back in the confines of my own studio here after the hotel experience yesterday. More on New York in just a second. We go 3-2. Admittedly, we drop a little bit of juice, Larry and I, at the minus 130, minus 139. But 3-2, we made you a couple of bucks, but certainly nothing groundbreaking. I will say this. If you watch the early wedge, you hit Victor Perez, first round leader, at 110-1. Now, that was split four ways, so it was really like 26, 27-1. And the two plays in golf that I put out on Tuesday and Wednesday, the plus 210 and Top Italian and Francesco Laporta, and the, I faded Berger and had Ryan Fox. That was minus 115. It looks like both of those are going to cash. We'll confirm later today, but we might have 2-0 on the Monday recap screen already, including that plus 210 on Laporta. So, pretty good day. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a great day on BPE Friday. Woo! Let's go! Oh, this is amazing. Buckets showing off the traps. We got Daniel Alistair Caffey with his bat, aka Sniper. We got Brasco shadow boxing and Chip. I gotta say, we missed you. Brasco and I missed you and Buckets and Sniper this week on Wednesday night. It was an amazing event. A little bit more on that later. But the least you could do, Chip, for me and this entire audience, some of which were in New York with us, is deliver on a Chip Me Up.
Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Sniper. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Early Edge fam. I, too, am back in the comfy confines. I, too, am laser locked in on the golf this weekend. We're going to get it down into the hole. We're going to put it into your bones. All the way through your skull into your bones. That's where the winners are coming. So we are fired up. We are ready to go. And I was thinking about this, Sia. They call this coffee golf season. But we also got golf in Kentucky. So coffee, whiskey. These are all of my classiest vices. Let's go.
Let's absolutely go. This is fantastic. I love that we have the ISCO. Obviously, we've got the Scottish Open going on right now. We'll be on CBS Sports Network today at 1 o'clock, kind of talking. That's the early wedge, not the early edge. Talking all things Scottish Open, setting you up for rounds 3 and round 4. But the ISCO, me and Chip have kind of competing picks, but not really, where we can go 2-0, but it's more likely. I don't even want to say it's more likely, but might go 1-1, might go 0-2, but 2-0 is certainly on the table. More on that in a little bit. Sniper and Brasco, I want to get to you, but Buckets, I got to tell you a really, really quick story. I don't want to bore everybody before we get to our picks because we got a lot of picks to give out. So I'm coming back from New York yesterday. This is absolutely 100% true story. I have to, I took the train down, right? So I go from Penn Station to Union Station. Now I have to jump on the Metro to get from the train onto the to the Metro, and I get on the Silver Line, which is in DC, in Metro Center. I sit down. It's not a super crowded train, even though it's kind of rush hour. And the gentleman right across from me goes, "Hey, you're Sia from the Early Edge," which I got to admit, that it doesn't happen a lot. There's a reason I'm telling Buckets this story specifically, because he says, me and my son, we watch the Early Edge all the time. And he goes, "We love Buckets." Like, that's how he punctuated the sentence. "We love Buckets." I was like, well, what about me? What about me? You recognized me. Anyway, Buckets, I got to tell you that story because when we were at the event in New York, there were so many. Richard Pierre, Ian Lights Out. There was Doro was in there. We had so many people that were just talking about the Early Edge crew, the culture we've created, the bigger culture that we're going to create. But Buckets, you came up so much. How you doing, buddy?
Sia, I'm doing well. And I think one of the things that I'm most proud about, not only here in the early edge space, but in everything in the gambling space, is that people love me, even though sometimes I'm really bad at gambling. I have some horrendous cold streaks here on the show, and I'm the kind of capper that even when I'm down, even when I'm struggling, people are always building me up. And I could not be more grateful for the community that we have in the space, and that we have people that understand sometimes it is more than just the bets here. So I'm bummed that I missed it out, but I love you too, random guy on the silver sub or whatever you called it.
Silver line. Silver sub.
Silver surfer.
Honestly, he's probably watching, and he's like the nicest man, government worker, just the nicest man ever. And I'm sure him and his son are either watching live or will be listening later, and they're going to get a kick out of this story because they're absolutely going to know what I'm talking about. Danny Brasco, you were at the event. How you feeling and how you doing, buddy? What are you here for? Is it UFC? Is it PFL? What do we have?
Yeah, UFC Nashville this weekend, so an interesting one. I'm feeling a little tired. My voice is still a little under the weather. We had the Yankee game with the crew, stayed out late for, a little post-game hangout. I went to dinner with my buddies last night, never had a little recovery action, but it was awesome hanging with you, Sia. Really cool to connect in person finally. And Buckets, I love your sentiment about that, right? Like when people just still bring you up in the community, like the best compliment I can get from someone is like my aunt who's like, hey, Daniel, I have no idea what you're saying, but you sound good. I'm like, that's better than cashing bets with me. Like you don't know what I'm talking about and you're still watching. So I love that aspect of the community, just everyone there that brought that energy. It really shows like it's not just in the chat. It transferred in real life. That's what Sia and I kept saying. Like everyone is who we thought they were, like the Dennis Green quote, right? They are who we thought they were. All the people that are good souls and good energy here in the chat and the analysts on the show, it felt that way in person. It was really awesome.
Let's leave for the podcast listeners. Let's leave this Eric David quote up because he's told me about this in the past. He said, I once had a carpet cleaner working in my house and saw my name and asked if I was the guy who sometimes gets shouted out on the early edge. He really listened to the pod and is in his truck that day. That courtesy of Eric David, who's been with us for so many years. Really good stuff. I promise we'll get to picks in a second, but Sniper, how we doing, buddy? And did you catch the Yankees-Mariners game that everybody was at?
No, I did not, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I didn't get to be there.
No,
but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm very flattered by Bucket's screen name today.
Oh,
there we go. Oh, I didn't even catch
fantastic. Yeah, that's great. That's it, Sniper. That was it. You're just flattered.
Do you want me to say more? Do you want me to say something like, hey, happy Lance Briggs and Otis Wilson days away?
Thank you.
From the NFL?
That is happy Andre Collins days away from NFL season. Yes, we needed put your number. If you have a favorite 55, put it in the chat right now. See, Sniper, I knew you had more in the tank there. All right.
I was thinking about the Yankees game. The reason why Danny doesn't have his voice because everybody cashed Jazz home run.
Let's go.
Yes.
Like
two times.
To drop the pick in the morning, then like come back and be able to see it live. I mean, that's just phenomenal stuff.
We did some pre-recorded stuff before the game too, and he dropped it there too. I don't know that we ever actually released that video because we didn't need to because we had it on the morning show. But he was all about Jazz Chisholm. So when he went for a second home run, that was really, really incredible stuff. All right, we do have to get to picks. I know people are like, all right, yeah, this is all great. We even have a huge announcement to make, but I can't make it now because we do have to get some picks. Just hang tight for a few minutes on the announcement that we have. But Buckets, let's. You were talking about cold streaks. Let's turn it around. What do we have today?
Let's do it. But let's start with another story just to tease the picks one more time here. Sia, real quick. My favorite time ever meeting someone that knew me or recognized the show was a lady that sprinted across the field to say hi. And this is not a joke, to Freya. She said, my husband sends me pictures of Freya all the time. I know this dog. I assume that you're important too, but I just wanted to say hi to Freya, which is pretty on brand for my life. So with that being said, everybody, welcome back Liga MX. We've got Liga MX. The Mexican Soccer League starts again today. Tonight are the opening matches of the Apertura. And we've got a really good matchup between FC Juarez taking on Club America. And we're getting some easy lines here because it is the first game back. There's been a long break. Teams haven't played in a few months, which means the books don't really know what's going to happen. And they think this match is going to start off slowly. And to the books, I say, you are wrong, sir. We are taking Club Mexico over 1.5 team total at plus 110 because this should never be plus 110. This was one of the best attacking teams in the entirety of Liga MX last season. This is a team that has two of the best strikers in the entirety of Mexican football in Henry Martin and Rodrigo Aguirre. This is a team that has not lost when playing at Club Olímpico, playing at Juarez Stadium since 2019. They are the better team with the better roster who has played better in the friendlies. I absolutely love Club Mexico to win this game, to score 2 goals, and maybe look at Henry Martin anytime goal scorer at plus 170 for a little bit of a sprinkle as well here, Sia.
All right, Joe Neuenfeld, who also came up at the game on several occasions with guys like Richard Pierre and others who just continue to talk about like the community beyond just us, but the people that are in the chat. He says Freya is royalty. So Buckets, you got to be happy to hear that.
He's not wrong. I mean, it's just a fact. Yeah.
All right. Let's move ahead. Sniper, I know people want to get to baseball and Brasco. I know people want to get to UFC. We're going to go golfing. Chip Patterson, I probably should give out my pick after you give out your pick since it kind of involves a similar guy. So you kick us off. Basically, what we're hoping for here, just to kind of set the stage, is that Adam Hadwin specifically does not play well at the ISCO Championship.
Yeah, we've got a nice little domino effect here because I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I'm backing Nick Hardy, and then Sia's going to come in with the other side. So pick your favorite capper right here.
Before you go on, This is so much less of a fade on Nick Hardy for me. Because we're kind of teasing it as it is a pro play on the guy that I'm taking. Just so you know. Yeah.
Okay. Nick Hardy, super interesting round on Thursday at the ISCO out there in Kentucky. 6 birdies, 3 bogeys. But let's go in and let's go under the hood, as I like to do. What happened that led to those bogeys? Well, all 3 of the bogeys were all on par 3s. He was clean. All the par 4s, all the par 5s, but there's 4 par 3s on this course, and on 3 of them, he got bogeys. On 2 of them, he didn't even hit the green off the tee, and on all 3 of them, he just kind of made a mess on the green. But then you go in and you look at what Nick Hardy was able to do in terms of ball striking, and 4th in the field in strokes gained tee to green, put himself in a lot of good position. And that's how you get 6 birdies on all the rest of the holes that are not par 3s. So consider this number 1, me thinking that Nick Hardy, after going through the course, is going to be able to tighten things up on those par 3s because everything else in his game looked pretty sharp. Now let's go to my fade part of this bet, because this is Nick Hardy minus 110 over Adam Hadwin. Again, right out of Sia's playbook, this is a DK 3-ball matchup. They'll be teeing off at 12:43 p.m. Eastern time. Adam Hadwin could not find the club face when it comes to firing into these greens. Lost nearly 2.5 strokes on approach. That is 144th in the field, a field that is already missing a lot of the top talent. Like top 75 guys are over there in Scotland. So this is a lot of your Corn Ferries, a lot of your Jason Duffner types, and yet still Adam Hadwin ranking near the bottom of the field in terms of firing into these greens. I just think that kind of ball striking is something that I'm willing to jump on the other side of. So with Nick Hardy cleaning up the par 3 scoring, and with Adam Hadwin just not really being in great form right now, I like this little minus 110. And just a preview on the other side, if you wanted Hadwin, it was minus 115. I think that should be flipped right there. So give me Nick Hardy minus 110 over Adam Hadwin.
Yeah, and same type of juice scenario for me. I'm taking William Mao minus 115 over Nick Hardy. And again, normally I like to be on a fade of one guy and pro another guy, because just both those things meeting is pretty great. But I respect everything Chip just said about Nick Hardy. I mean, listen, Nick Hardy's very inconsistent. There's a reason why we haven't heard his name in quite some time in terms of being a guy at the top of leaderboards. But let's be honest, we haven't heard William Mao's either. William Mao, kind of, in my opinion, an up-and-comer. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's flashed it a little bit, and there's a reason why. So here's the thing. If you watch the Best Bets show, I believe I gave out 3 outrights. There might have been a 4th outright. I gave out 150 to 1 on Zach Blair kind of at the last minute there. But if you follow me on Twitter, I had tweeted out that I'm adding a player, and it was William Mao. I added him at, I believe, 70 to 1 to win this tournament. He actually had a pretty good first round. I think he's 3 under, so puts him in T6, 6 behind Chan Kim, but we expect Chan Kim to fall back a little bit. Nonetheless, I think William Mao is a really talented player, and I'm really playing the talent here, and I'm fading Nick Hardy just because I think he can always have a great round, and I think he can always have a bad round. I think this is a case where William Mao can beat Nick Hardy, can beat Adam Hadwin, and we both go, me and Chip go 2-0. But again, playing the talent of William Mao at minus 115, I do think he can still win this thing. If you noticed his odds pre-flop when I tweeted it out, which would have been on my way up to New York, they were 70 to 1. They're now, I think, 40 to 1, unless they've changed in the last 30 minutes. They're now 40 to 1. So he's certainly in the running to be in the conversation. Give me William Mao minus 115 over Nick Hardy. Chip, we can cash both of these.
Yeah, I believe it. Come on. This is what we're doing. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Let's get to Big Fly Friday. Let's get to BetMGM. We got home run props to give out. We got a SportsLine MLB pick to give out. We got Snipers MLB picks to give out. And then, of course, UFC. But Big Fly Friday, place your first home run bet today, minimum $10. And if they have the longest home run of the day, you can win your share of $100,000 in bonus bets. No opt-in necessary. And the token will be available to use on the first player you take to hit a home run every Friday. In other words, you pick a Friday guy, that's going to get you in the pool for $100,000 in bonus bets. This, courtesy of BetMGM, looks like it's going to be a Friday thing for the longest bomb. And while we're here, let's take a look at the SportsLine home run model plays, which if you watch this show or listen to the show, these have been very, very hot. I like to say this guy's name is Sia Suzuki, but it's not really. But let's call him Sia. It's Sia Suzuki. We've got plus 358 per the SportsLine model, but the real odds plus 425. Jazz Chisholm, just near and dear to our hearts right now. Plus 314 says the SportsLine model. Plus 400 say the real odds. Corey Seager plus 320 versus plus 460 being the real odds. So some serious value on Corey Seager as well. Sniper, I got to ask you, any of these names jumping out to you?
Of course, I like Sia, Cubs in Yankee Stadium, going against the left-hander Carlos Rodon there. And again, as I mentioned, I believe it was Tuesday when we talked about Corey Seager. Anytime he's healthy and going right, he's a decent bet to go almost every night.
All right, we like that, and we're gonna like Sniper's plays that he's gonna give out in just a minute. But let's give out a sports line pick first. Chase Burns, this one courtesy of Prop Bet Guy. We're going over strikeouts at even money. Chase Burns over 6.5 Ks at plus 100. That one courtesy of Prop Bet Guy. All right, we have so much more to cover, and we're going to do it right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
We are back on the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Buckets go.
Quick question for you. I was looking at the MLB slate tonight, and noticed that the Guardians and the White Sox played twice tonight. Is that a real thing, and is that a normal thing to have 2 games in one day for the same team? Real deal? Okay. I just was curious.
Double-header buckets? Never heard of the double-header?
Apparently, nope. Just keep going. On to Danny. Danny, what's your best UFC plays?
Hey, listen, let me pull on that. Yeah, let me pull on that thread. Sniper, how many double headers in a season? Like, do you happen to know off the top of your head, like, what is an average of? I mean, it seems as though you get maybe one a month, but I'm sure
scheduled double headers at the start of the season, pretty much zero nowadays.
They're all weather.
Always, for example, on the Guardians and White Sox, it was rained out last night, so they just threw 2 on today so they could make it up. They're pretty much always makeups nowadays.
Sniper, do you believe in the doubleheader split? The first team that wins, will you just fade them in the next game because the teams love to go 1-1 in those?
I usually just completely stay away all the time. I think they're so unpredictable that I just basically just don't even bother.
First legs too, like you would stay away even from. Oh,
yeah,
because you're playing.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything to it, but just basically from the start of when I started capping. Every single time I see a doubleheader, I just don't even look at it for whatever reason.
I mean, trying to get inside the headspace of how they're going to manage the bullpen for the day. You know, I mean, there's like
it's
so
unpredictable enough when it's only one game, and then you don't know what's going to happen in the first game, and that affects how the second game goes. So I just usually don't even bother.
Yeah, makes sense.
I was about to, coming out of the break, I was going to announce this big announcement for the Early Edge, and Buckets hits us with, "Hey, I see this must be a glitch in the Matrix. There's 2 games in one day. I don't know what's happening here."
What's the announcement, Sia?
Oh, well, thanks, Buckets. Oh, that was beautiful. What a transition. This guy, you should be hosting. Speaking of hosts, it actually is a pretty good transition, Buckets, because this is a very important announcement to me and this entire Early Edge and SportsLine brand. People's Choice Podcast Awards. I'll say that again. The People's Choice Podcast Awards. We are up for a nomination. There's a lot of different categories, everybody. Best Male Hosted Podcast. Best Male Hosted Podcast, People's Choice Podcast Awards. We need you to help us out, and we need you to spend 60 seconds nominating the Early Edge. All you got to do is go to podcastawards.com/app/sign up. Of course, this link will be in the podcast description and the YouTube description. I cannot tell you how easy it is to vote. All you got to do is click sign up now. You have to put your email and you have to create a password, and it's only so that they know you're a real person and that you can vote. All of your password, whatever it is, it can be probably something pretty easy, and your email, it gets deleted after the award time comes and goes. And then if you were going to do it next year, you'd have to put in a new email or the same email and a different password, or even probably the same password. The point is, if you put in an email and a password, they verify you as a real person. And then you just go into the page and you click on Best Male Hosted Podcast and you click on the Early Edge. The good news is there's a lot of CBS Sports podcasts that are up for awards in different categories, like Best Sports Podcast. And Chip Patterson, I believe Cover 3 is there.
That's right. Yeah, the Cover 3 podcast has been nominated for the Best Sports Podcast. So not only can you sign up at podcastawards.com and vote for this fantastic Early Edge podcast under the Best Male Hosted Podcast category, go on in there and go to Best Sports Podcast and nominate Cover 3. We have been a finalist multiple times over, but this time we ain't being no Buffalo Bills. This time we're taking it all the way. Let's bring home not 1, not 2, but multiple trophies here in the CBS Sports Podcast family. Let's go.
Yeah, this is honestly, to me, if you all could do anything for this pod, we always ask you to maybe hit the like button or review the podcast, but to get us to the next round, to that final round, whether it's Cover 3 or any of the other CBS Sports podcasts, but specifically for this show, The Early Edge, it would be very, very helpful. So if you all could go do that, the nominations are open, I think, for like another 2 to 3 weeks, but if you could just take care of it now and let us know somehow that you voted, whether it's in the chat on Monday or maybe somebody can go vote right now and then 5 minutes from now say, hey, I voted. It really was that easy. You don't have to vote for every single category. If you just want to choose Cover 3 and Early Edge and go on your way because you don't think you have time, you can do that. Again, take 60 seconds or less. Rob Johnson's already done it. He says, done, piece of cake. Like, that is our best evidence that this thing is truly 60 seconds or less. Buckets, go ahead.
I didn't raise my hand.
I know, but you were kind of like chuckling, like, "Oh my gosh, it really is that easy."
Because
right?
I went to sign up, and it says like there's a section that's like pick the person that influenced you the most in the podcasting world. So I put my own name. I just throwing myself out there. I'll vote for you guys, Sia and Chip, but I'm just going to make sure that I'm making this about me as well. You know,
I love it. I love it. Liddy has also already voted. Chad Anderson has already voted. Again, if you're listening to the podcast and you don't see this in the chat, it is this easy. I just gave out the URL. They just went to it super quick. CID, I've already done it. If every single one of you could do this, I would truly, truly, truly appreciate it. So thank you. Wu-Tang Forever says it looks like he's already voted as well. So really appreciate that. All right, we got to get to more picks. Let's go to baseball. If you have questions about Early Edge and voting and other podcasts and who to vote for, again, you don't have to vote every category. Pick the ones you like and move on from there. Sniper, talk to me about MLB.
Yeah, so basically right when the show started, Jen M, a regular here in the chat, said she's on pitchers. Let's do strikeouts all day. And you know what? I totally agree. So let's just do a bunch of strikeouts right now. I'm going to go Paul Skeens over 6.5 strikeouts at plus money. I know that sounds weird that we're in the plus money, but he's had a low pitch count the last 3 games. The Pirates are holding him down in terms of the pitch count. I have a feeling it's going to change today. I think he's going to go up to around 100. The Twins have never seen him before. They are 6th in strikeout rate against right-handed pitchers, so they do swing and miss a lot against righties. The All-Star break is right around the corner. I have a feeling, and this is just a prediction, it's not based on reporting or anything, but Skeens started last year. I think Zach Wheeler is going to start this year. I think the Pirates are going to talk to Dave Roberts, and Skeens is not going to pitch in the All-Star game. So I think they're going to extend him a little bit today, get him up around 100 pitches. That will clear the path to 6.5 strikeouts, get us up to 7. I don't know if you want to ladder it or anything, but I could see 8. And I'm going to stick right here in the same game because, again, strikeouts all day. That's the theme. Joe Ryan is also going to go over 6.5 strikeouts, also at plus money. He saw the Pirates last year. He struck them out 8 times. The Pirates are a very strikeout-heavy team, 2nd in the league in strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. Joe Ryan has 116 strikeouts and 104 1/3 innings this year. Again, basically over a strikeout per inning. He's going to work 6-7 innings against this bad Pirates lineup, strike out 7 or 8 or so. And also, I know that a lot of people have home run plays, so I'm going to try to hit some home runs in addition to what we saw earlier with the Seiya Suzuki, Jazz Chisholm, and Corey Seager. Ellie De La Cruz at home in the hot and sticky weather here in the Midwest against Herman Marquez of the Rockies, who gives up a lot of home runs. Love Ellie there. Also, the Blue Jays in Sacramento. We know the ball flies in Sutter Health Park there in Sacramento. We know the Blue Jays have been hitting for so much power recently. Pretty much any Blue Jay you want. I'm going to lock in on Addison Barger here, left-hander against Severino, and he's been really hot lately.
All right. Always get some extra nuggets and some extra picks from Sniper. You'll love to see it. There's some MLB picks for you, Sniper, but we're going to move on, and then we're going to circle back to that before the recap screen. Danny Brasco, I've kept you quiet way too long. Talk to me about UFC.
Let's go. Here we go to UFC Nashville, and I see some questions about boxing as well in the chat. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor going for their trilogy. I'm talking about that on Primetime Pregame on HQ later on. But first, we're going to go into UFC Nashville, and I'll address some of the questions like Sia mentioned in the chat for MMA as well. Let's start on the prelims here, guys. There's a fighter kicking off the card that's a minus 1,300 favorite. I found a plus 310 tag on her that I like. Let's go with Fatima Klein by submission in this fight. Now, she's a massive favorite because she has a clear advantage on the ground. She's fighting a kickboxer-style opponent in Melissa Martinez that throws nice kicks to all levels. The problem is you got to leave your feet when you throw a kick. And I think that's going to get her taken down. Martinez was taken down 3 times by Elise Reed in her last fight. I don't like to talk smack about any fighters, but I don't really rate Elise Reed. Klein doesn't have any subs on her pro MMA career, but she competes in a lot of grappling tournaments. She's a slick grappler. She showed me a lot in wins and losses early on in her career, and I think she might show out here and lace up her first pro sub win. So look for her to take the fight to the ground, maybe start landing some ground and pound. Her opponent's pretty tough, so maybe she doesn't give up to the punches, but turns, gives up the net. We can get a 3-1 submission ticket right here instead on a minus 1,200 favorite. So I think that's a good way to find some value. Onward we march. Next fight up, I'm going to take a spread play here. And I like this because I think this fight is going to go one of 2 ways. I think it's going to go the way of my guy, Kennedy Nzechukwu. Tough name for Sia here.
Come on.
Spread 3.5. He's a minus 210 favorite on the money line. But really what I'm buying here is that he wins either a dominant decision or he finishes his opponent. So I'm willing to pay the extra round that he's got to win on the combined judges' scorecards on the spread in order to get it down to minus 125. Now, the reason I like it is because, like I said, this fight is going one of 2 ways. Either Kennedy keeps it on the feet, uses his slick movement, his improved game, his measured striking, his volume, and his opponent, Walter Walker, is kind of a fish out of water, just getting outpointed, getting pieced up, and loses on the feet. Or I'm wrong, and Walter takes him down, uses his tricky submissions. He's got two wins in a row by heel hook. I think that he scaled Walker, but those are kind of fluky wins against opponents that didn't have great grappling defense. Nzechukwu is a guy that's been growing up in the UFC, trains at Fortis MMA under head coach Saif Sayoud, a guy that I really like. And I think he's just slowly maturing and improving his game. So I like Kennedy to take care of this fight. If he doesn't finish his opponent, I think he can win every round, and I'm willing to take him on the spread. And finally, let's close out with one of my favorite fights of the night. This might be slept on, but I really like Jake Matthews at plus 130 against Chidi Njokuani. Chidi Njokuani's on a nasty win streak. Nickname is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Really likable fighter. Long, rangy welterweight with the Muay Thai style. Tough to get inside range when he's throwing those straight weapons, the front kicks, the elbows and the knees. But I think Matthews can use his boxing to set up his grappling. Chidi Njokuani struggles off his back. That's where you can get to him if you can get your hands on him. And Matthews, I think, can use his ability, his boxing and his hands to close that distance and then work to get those takedowns. And Njokuani made it really hard to do that against his last opponent, who was just lost trying to close the range. Matthews has skills that he doesn't that I think will help him get there. So if he can mix in that grappling, I think he shows his well-rounded game. And he's tough enough, I think. I see him on his Instagram. I always like to check out the fighters and what they're doing. Guys just building stuff and taking ice baths. He's like just a farmer. Got that farmer country strength. And I think he shows that out here. He's 30 years old, but he's been in the UFC since 2014. So much experience. Like I said, grown up in the promotion. A couple of guys that I'm taking here. And I think that serves him well in this fight. So give me Jake Matthews as an underdog. And good luck if you're tailing any of these UFC Nashville picks, guys.
Jake Matthews talking about the strength. He's an offensive lineman for the Atlanta Falcons as well. I can't believe he's in the UFC.
He's got that farmer strength, man. Yeah, you see guys just like with the pounder building fences, making poles. I'm like, they're built different, man. They can take a hit and give a hit in a different way than the average guy could. That's for sure.
You know where Jake Matthews played college ball?
Ooh. Was it in Texas?
X Buckets.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. On a ridiculous Texas A&M team that history will look back on. You had Mike Evans at wide receiver. You had Jake Matthews and multiple NFL offensive linemen. And a little water bug named Johnny Football was the quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was a fun team.
A little
very
bug.
fun team. Yeah, little water bug out there.
Turns out running around for 5 minutes and throwing it up to Mike Evans doesn't translate into the NFL. I can't believe that. That's crazy.
Amazing.
Go ahead. Danny, go ahead.
I was just going to answer a couple questions real quick. I see people talking about Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. Thompson, a UFC legend, veteran kickboxer, but he's a huge underdog against a really dangerous young kid who's got slick jiu-jitsu. I'm willing to take a little quarter unit shot on Wonderboy at plus 350. He was in a competitive fight against a ranked opponent in his last one. So I'm going to make him prove it to me that his opponent deserves to be a huge favorite against such a skilled vet. But the other side is that he might choke him out. He's gotten dominated by grapplers before. So I see Jeff Stenberg likes the Bonfim sub. I get that angle. For me, I'm willing to take a little sprinkle. But if I lose a quarter unit, I'm willing to do that. So I see your side too. I like Wonderboy, though, to show us that he's still got something, though, Jeff.
All right. Hey, Sniper, I know you had some follow-up on the Skeens play.
Yeah, I totally messed up, and I'm really sorry about that. I completely own it. It's my fault. They both have juice. We'll say about minus 135 or so, not plus money. What I did was, I think I was trying to be like my boy Buckets today and just kind of mix some stuff up.
Ouch. I don't know why you got to take
Excuse
buckets
me?
down here.
Why am I taking shots? What did I make up?
So here's what I did. I wanted the overs, but I took the numbers from the unders on the plus when I thought they were plus Monday. So I totally messed that up. I want the overs. I don't care about the juice. I still want the overs on both of those plays, but there is juice. They're not plus money. And I apologize for that. 100%. I'm an idiot. Make fun of me. It's my fault. That's all it is. I totally messed up.
Too hard on yourself.
So,
Well, really hard on Buckets, too. He's like, this is a Buckets move. I'm an idiot. Buckets.
that was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Just pile it all on me. It's all me. Sorry, man. Sorry, Buckets. You're my boy.
No, you're fine. I got a question in the chat, but I'm not smart enough to read it, so we can just move on. Go to the next person. If that
No,
works for you
obviously
guys.
it's me. I'm the one who would mess it up.
Buckets, go ahead. What is the question?
Oh, there wasn't one. I was just doing a bit.
Jeez. All right. Let's see. Brasco. Actually, Sniper, there was a couple of questions I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
We had Cubs Yankees over 9, asks Steve Folkerts.
Yeah, I thought about that. The Cubs are doing a bullpen game. Rodon with the Yankees. The Cubs have actually had a lot of problems with left-handed starters. So I might avoid that. The Cubs, I know it's a bullpen game, and sometimes bullpen games can fall apart, but the Cubs actually have a very good bullpen. Feel like the Yankees, after that late comeback last night, I might actually go under on this one.
And then we have a question about the San Francisco Giants. Logan Webb specifically against the Dodgers. Somebody was looking at KC3, looking at Logan Webb over 5.5 strikeouts against the Dodgers.
Yeah, and especially at home. Logan Webb at home is money. So that I like that play a lot. Also, there's a question, Tarek Skubal over 8.5 strikeouts. Man, 8.5's high. I know it's Skubal, but 8.5's really high. I would probably just stay away. I could totally see him hitting it, but it's just a high number.
I also think Logan Webb's been a little sketchy lately, just a little bit. I understand it's in San Francisco, but the over-under 7.5 with Dustin May on the mound, who could also be kind of sketchy. That seems a little low.
And the other thing is the Dodgers offense, they've lost 6 in a row, and they barely scored any runs during those 6 losses. It just feels like you're playing with fire, and all of a sudden they're going to explode at some point.
Yeah, fair enough. Chip, we have anything in the chat you need to address?
No, I mean, it seems like the ISCO ain't generating the kind of commentary that our normal PGA Tour event is. But we're like next week for the Open Championship. I'm sure we'll get creative and try to figure out ways to still give you some good value here at this time, even if it's we're not. Pretty much everybody will be on the course or even done. I know the early wave was finishing up as I was taking my boys to school, so we'll find creative ways, maybe late ads on the finish position, different ways to get out.
Yeah, that's an end of round leader type stuff we can contemplate as well, kind of some like big longer shot type plays. Brasco, go ahead.
My guy Ray Garcia had one question. He asked Justin Junior Tafa money line. Is that a good parlay piece? Kind of a low level fight, man. He's still working on his grappling defense. He's clearly the more dangerous puncher, but I would stay away from that, especially if you're looking for a safe parlay piece. That's an ugly fight. That's a pass for me.
All right. Let's any more questions before we get to the recap screen, everybody? I don't think so. I think we're good. All right, let's get to the recap screen because we have held you kind of longer than we normally do, even on a Friday. A couple of head-to-heads we like. These I think you can both find over at DK. Mine is under 18-hole matchups, and Chips is under 3-ball matchup. So again, it's not hard to find, but that's the terminology you need to look for. It's obviously not under round 3 balls, for example, right? So you kind of got to scroll over just a little bit, find 3-ball matchups, find 18-hole matchups. I got William Mao over Nick Hardy. It's minus 115. And then we've got Nick Hardy minus 110 over Adam Hadwin. That one from Chip Patterson. Club America Mexico over 1.5 team total at plus 110. That one courtesy of Buckets. Then we go Paul Skeens over 6.5 Ks. We got the new juice here. Ben, good job. Minus 135. Joe Ryan over 6.5 Ks, also at minus 135. Then we go to UFC. Fatima Klein by submission at plus 310. Kennedy Nzechukwu, minus 3.5,
nice,
minus
dude.
125. Really? Okay. Jake Matthews, not the football player. Money line plus 130. By the way, I cannot believe I got Texas A&M. I got to admit, that was like kind of a blind guess. So sometimes you get them. Chase Burns over 6.5 Ks is our sports line pick. It's from Prop Bet Guy, and it is even money. We've got our MLB home run plays. Sia, not Sia, Suzuki, plus 358 versus plus 425. Jazz Chisholm, plus 314 versus plus 400. And Corey Seager, plus 320 versus plus 460. A lot going on in the chat. I got to be honest. Today, I didn't have as much fun with you in the chat. I couldn't call out as many comments, which I love to do on a BPA Friday because we had to get through so much stuff, especially that award stuff, which I know is important to Chip and important to this entire Early Edge universe. So please do not forget to go to podcastawards.com. Obviously, the link is all over the place. Click sign up to vote now. Put in your information. It's really just an email and a password. They verify you're a real person. They can vote for any category. Definitely vote for the best male hosted podcast. That would be the Early Edge. Again, you don't have to vote all categories. You can just vote the two that we talked about on this show and move on, or take a look at all the other ones because there's a lot of good CBS content on there. Thank you very much, everybody. What a great show. Appreciate everybody in the chat, even some of the new names I'm seeing in there. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, Buckets. Thank you, Sniper. Thank you, Danny Brasco. Thank you, Ben, on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. Everybody have a very happy and positive Friday. Hopefully it's profitable as well. We'll see you next time on CBS Sports Network at 1 o'clock if you want to catch the early wedge action as we catch up with the Scottish Open. But for this show, we'll see you on Monday at 10 o'clock. Buckets, you want to go ahead and you want to close this out?
Nope.
Wrong. That's also wrong. Wrong.
You know
We
the
rest
law.
our case.
Subscribe.
We rest our case.
Yeah,
That's how you
yeah,
close
there
it.
they go. Play
You
it
know-
one more time.
Subscribe.